everything you need to know about a Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Let me start off by talking a little bit about Dodge, because if you've been following Dodge like I have been, the world famous company known for muscle, known for horsepower, known for speeds in vehicles so fast that they break the NHRA rules, has been going through a little bit of a change over the last few years. You see, Stellantis had this big, bright vision for Dodge of delivering performance to its people with hybrids and battery. Now, you can only imagine that that didn't go over very well with Mopar enthusiasts who are used to having 392s and 426 Hemi engines and a 700 horsepower supercharged engine in it. And it's sad to say that in 2023, Dodge put an end to the ICE powertrain Dodge Chargers and Dodge Challengers. Now, we do have a Dodge Charger that's on the market with a battery engine and rumored to be coming out with a gas engine as well. So all hope is not lost. We may get a high horsepower muscle car once again, but until that comes, this is the one that you want. This is the halo vehicle that Dodge made. And in the peak of the Dodge Challenger Hellcat, there are so many trim levels specialized for different racing needs and wants. I can't wait to tell you all about the Dodge Challenger Hellcat.
I'm Jeff Batchelor, and I love cars. I love the look, I love the design, and I love the emotion that you feel. I love the history, brand stories, marketing strategy, and automotive trends. I love engineering, types of propulsion, engine specs, drivetrain, and performance, and I love the interiors, layouts, smell, and the gizmos and gadgets and bells and whistles. But I don't only love cars, I also sell them. If you love this content and want to chat about a purchase, text me at 416-523-6585. Now back to the video.
So the Dodge Challenger has a famous history dating all the way back to the 70s. From 1970 to 1974, Dodge created the Challenger, not just to compete with the Mustang and the Camaro, but to dominate. It was bigger, it was faster, and it was more premium, and it won Mopar enthusiasts over. It is still the same design that Dodge decided to reuse later on in 2008 when they came out with this third generation. Now, don't worry, I'm not skipping the second generation, but we probably should because it's not anything noteworthy. In the late 70s, Dodge used the name Challenger on a rebadged Mitsubishi Galant, which, I mean, it doesn't even share any of the personality or the ethos. In 2008, Dodge came out with this, right in the era where manufacturers pulling back that retro theme. Even Ford Mustang was doing it. Dodge dropped the hammer with this. And for 16 years, we had the Dodge Challenger as we know it. Iconic body styling, squared out proportions, and muscle and horsepower beyond all belief. So since 2008, there have been a lot of different trim levels of the Dodge Challenger. The Dodge Challenger is available in an all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive V6 variant called the GT. It's also available in a rear-wheel drive 5.7-liter V8 powered variant called the RT. And then we get into the big boys. If you want that 6.4-liter Hemi pumping out almost 500 horsepower, you can find that in the Scat Pack and the SRT. Biggest difference between the Scat Pack and the SRT, the Scat Pack gives you the engine, but the SRT gives you the wider tires and all the customizable drive modes in your performance pages. And then we step up to the big boy. That's right, the Hellcat, which is what I'm standing next to, which has a legendary 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi. But they didn't stop just with that. In 2015, they did a full makeover on the Dodge Challenger. We got a Dodge Challenger that had an air grabber hood that pumped out 707 horsepower in the Hellcat variant. But we weren't done yet. In 2018, they added wide body kits. In 2019, they added a red eye variant. In 2020 and so forth, there was jailbreaks and super stock versions taking that horsepower from 700 horsepower all the way up to 800 horsepower. But wait, there's even more. 2018, they made a flagship model called the Demon, which put out 840 horsepower. The performance out of that car was so illegal in the national racing circuits that they faced tickets and fines. And the cream of the crop, for the very, very last year, in 2023, they even made a 1,000 horsepower version of the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. I'm so excited to be talking about this Challenger Hellcat, 717 horsepower. This thing's an absolute beast, and it's gonna make a statement everywhere you go. Now, I mentioned a couple times that this is a muscle car, which certainly has its competition. Corvette people love their Corvettes, Mustang people love their Mustangs, Camaro people love them, but really, none of those are as all-rounded as the Dodge Challenger. You see, the Dodge Challenger has performance so crazy that Corvette and Mustang owners only see the taillights of the Challengers, but it has a ride second to none. Whereas some of the other muscle cars focus more on a track performance, lightweight, low slung, tight cabs. The Dodge Challenger is a tourer. It's comfortable, it's big, it's roomy. You can take this thing on a road trip from one coast all the way to the other and not have to go see a chiropractor afterwards. So really, if you can get this much performance out of something you can use all conditions, all roads, all the time, really, is there anything better than a Dodge Challenger? Now, under the hood of your Hellcat is going to be a 6.2 liter supercharged V8. Every single Hellcat block is going to be in orange, so if you take a peek behind everything, that orange lets you know that you've got the Hellcat inside. Also, sitting right atop of the engine is this beautiful 2.4 liter supercharged that makes a whine so sexy. Even if you're not trying to race down the road, you're going to want to play with the throttle just to make sure that you can hear that supercharger whine. Now let's talk performance. This Hellcat has 717 horsepower, has 656 feet-pound of torque. This one will do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds and will even run a quarter mile in 11.5 seconds. And that's right out the box without any customization, different tires or anything. Dodge Challengers are ready to take to the drag strip without any changes or even very much track experience, because once we get into the pages, you'll see that there's already factory line lock, which will hold the front brakes, allowing you to warm up your tires very, very easy. Again, this is a race car lover's dream, because not only do you get all the amazing performance, but you get a vehicle that's comfortable as well. Other things you'll notice is right away this big, massive air box. This is the one that collects the air straight through the front headlight. It also collects air straight through the snorkels that are on the hood. On this vehicle, they are all functional air scoops, no smoke and mirrors, no gimmicks, just nothing but performance. Now, one of the most unique things about a Hellcat that Dodge decided to do was actually give the owners two different keys, both unlocking a different amount of performance out the vehicle. If you've ever seen Ferris Bueller Days Off, where the valet takes the Ferrari and goes for a joyride, well, I think that's why Dodge did this, is they want to make sure that if you don't want anybody using all 700 horsepower of your Hellcat, you give them the black key. Now, the black key still means you get 500 horsepower from this beast, but only the person with the red key gets all the horsepower potential out of your vehicle unlocked. Now, when it comes to exterior styling, there is no mistaking a Dodge Challenger Hellcat. It used all the exact same body lines that made it so famous from the 70s. I mean, a muscle car should look like this, with a large air opening right in the front and squared out body lines. You can see one continual belt line that runs from the front all the way until you get to the hips of the vehicle, where it needs to house those ultra wide rear tires. Around back, same thing, squared out proportions, squared out taillights, squared out design elements. This is a muscle car through and through. Now, some of the features that you will notice specifically about a Hellcat is these 4 circular headlamps. In 2015, when they updated it, these circular headlamps have an LED daytime running light surrounding it. So when you see one coming up behind you in the rear view mirror, you know exactly that it's a Hellcat. Now, something a lot of people don't know is actually the driver's side inside headlight actually has a tunnel straight through. That's an air intake, and when you look closely inside, you can even see an illuminated Hellcat logo. On the other side, it's just a dummy. It looks like it's an air intake, but it is not. Okay, now down below the headlights, you've also got this big, large splitter, which stands apart from any of the other Dodge Challenger models. You can get a GT, an RT, or an SRT that still have all the same body lines and fenders and doors, but they don't have the same skirting for aerodynamics and downforce. Now, through all the models and trims of Dodge Challenger you can get, there have been a lot of different wheel patterns that you can get, but none of them I like as much as this beautiful 5-spoke rim that you get, with great big windows into those large calipers and those bright red Brembo brakes. You've got 6 piston Brembos in the front, 4 piston Brembos in the back, which give this vehicle an incredible amount of stopping power, which you need for a vehicle that can go as fast as it can. Now, another option you could do on your Challenger was actually option those brakes to be a different color. You could get them orange, or you could also get them black. So when factory order or customizing your perfect Challengers, those are some choices that you had to make. So in 2018, another option you could put on your Dodge Challenger Scat Pack or your Dodge Challenger Hellcat was a wide body kit. Ultra large fenders in the front, ultra large fenders in the back, and gave the vehicle a much more mean and aggressive stance. Later on, it's how you could tell certain models from different models. You see, the Demon 170 is very unique because it doesn't have the wide body kit in the front, but it does have the wide body kit in the rear. Now, when you come around back to your Dodge Challenger Hellcat, you are going to see the tires, just how wide they are. We got 305s in the back of this Dodge Challenger. The previous owner of this Dodge Challenger optioned this with a different exhaust on it, which is why you see the quad tips. Otherwise, you'd see a nice rectangular shape on there. And then nice and simple on the back, just one big, bright, bold Hellcat logo. If that Hellcat had a little red eye in it, you would know that it was actually a red eye variant. But again, very subtle design differences between all the different trims and models on your Hellcat. All right, stepping inside your Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Dodge has done an unbelievable job making these interiors feel special. Although they haven't updated them since 2015, they didn't need to. Now, I'll say it once and I'll say it a million times. Every single SRT product that I sit in has the nicest seats on the market. Forget Recaro, forget any other custom seats. These are deep bucket, deep bolstered, beautiful Laguna leather seats that are oh so comfortable and oh so huggy as well. I mean, I feel like I'm being hugged sitting in this seat. Now, the same Laguna leather that we have on the seats also extends all over the tops and mids of the door sills. all over the tops of the dash, and it's accented with this beautiful white stitching as well. And what I love to see is the gauges and the infotainment screen are all housed in one unit. Again, using styling cues from the original Challenger back in the 70s. Now, I know they didn't have a touchscreen back in the 70s, but this is still the exact area that you would find your radio controls and the options for your vehicle. All right, so I absolutely love the instrument cluster of this Dodge Challenger Hellcat. It lets you know right away if you're using the black key or the red key and how much horsepower you've got. This bright red tachometer with the retro styling looks awesome. And then the bright red speedometer that goes all the way up to 340 kilometers an hour is just challenging you, pun intended, to put this vehicle to the limits. Right in the middle, we've got a 7-inch display. But again, I love that they've kept the theme of those retro red dials, even when you're just looking up your oil temp, your oil pressure, your oil life, and even your battery life. If you keep going through the options, you also can get all your performance metrics right here in the instrument cluster. This vehicle will measure your 0 to 60, your 0 to 100, your reaction time, braking distance, G-force, even your best records ever, and your top speed. Now, as far as infotainment systems go, you already know how much I love a Uconnect 4 infotainment system. A beautiful hotbar down here where you can move and change all the options to your personal preferences, as well as, check this out, in the background, we get the roaring Hellcat logo in there. But that's not all. The best thing is you can instantly jump into all your SRT pages and options. This vehicle has so many race-specific features that I can't wait to explain some of them to you. Now, first, your drive modes. This vehicle features a few different drive modes, a track-specific, a sport-specific, and an automatic, which change the dynamics of the vehicle, the traction, the suspension, the steering, and even the paddle shifters. But you also get a custom drive mode, which you can set up to react any way that you like. Also, on the SRT dashboard, you have your performance pages. This is where it'll show you all your best times, all your records, all your speeds, all your track information, all recorded into the infotainment system. You can plug a USB flash drive into one of the USB sockets, and simply pressing the camera button will screenshot it so that you can actually have a record of all your times and performances. So we've got customizable drive modes, we've got performance pages which record all your performance, and then we even have race options where we can set up your line lock, we can set up your launch control and at what RPM you're really going to launch. We can adjust the shift light so the vehicle will tell you to shift at different RPMs, and you even have a race cool down option. So if you are taking this vehicle on the drag strip, you aren't abusing your engine beyond its capability. This is more customization and more race features I've ever seen in a vehicle that I review. And for those enthusiasts that need this, are going to be very grateful it's built right into the vehicle. Now, as far as driver features, we've got a power telescopic and tilting steering wheel, which does have memory settings. So you can save those positions just in case you're lending your vehicle out to anybody else. These seats are also heated and ventilated, as well as you have a heated steering wheel as well for those brave enough to take your Hellcat out even when it gets a little bit chilly. In your hands, you have a thick bolstered flat bottom steering wheel, the same one you've seen in a Hellcat Durango, the same one you've seen in other SRT videos that I've done. We've got easy to use paddle shifters on the back, which is great. And something I love about this Hellcat is the SRT on the steering wheel actually glows red at night, which is a really, really nice option. Okay. And then surrounding the shifter area, we have this beautiful metal print applique. I don't know what to call it, but it looks really awesome. It looks really, really premium. I mean, just being in this vehicle is exciting. I mean, look at these seats. Look at the SRT embossed into the seat backs with that Hellcat logo. Look at the stitching on the bolsters and look at the quality of this leather. You will not want to get out of this vehicle anytime soon. And for when you're tired of hearing that beautiful V8 engine roar, this one's equipped with a Harman Kardon high performance sound system, so you get the best of both worlds. Now, the best thing about your Dodge Challenger Hellcat is there's no shortage of ways to share this with your friends and family. Behind the seat, we have not one, not two, we actually have 3 separate seat belts. So throw 3 of your friends here in the back, put on the line lock, smoke the tires, do a burnout, rip some donuts, scare the crap out of them. But a Dodge Challenger actually has 5 seat belts. Now, something else that a Dodge Challenger has that no Camaro, no Mustang has is a usable back seat. One that people can actually fit in, one that actually has armrests and cup holders, and even has heating and ventilation. Now, around back of your Dodge Challenger Hellcat, they kept the design very simple. There's no big bulky handle or anything sticking out. The 2 ways to access your cargo area are, one, with the button on the key fob, or right here above the letter D, there's a little button which actually allows you to open up the cargo area, okay? Now, not only can you fit 5 people inside your Challenger, but if we're measuring storage space and bodies, we could probably fit 5 people in the trunk of this Dodge Challenger Hellcat as well. Underneath the load floor, there is also the subwoofers, the 2 twin subwoofers for the Harman Kardon stereo system. This is also an option because if you're really looking to have weight reduction, you can have that all empty as just a storage area for you. All right, so what makes a Dodge Challenger so unique? Well, first is it has horsepower beyond your wildest dreams. The performance of a Dodge Challenger are not to be trusted with amateurs because you'll spin it sideways and you'll end up into a pole. However, you can get this much performance, this much fun in a beautiful, elegant, stylish, retro throwback package. Not only that, but it's going to be a comfortable ride, one that you don't just take out for 10 minutes or one that you just take to the track. You can drive this all the way to the track and then go take your family for ice cream on the way home, and every single bit of it is enjoyable. They stopped making Dodge Challengers in 2023, which means if you've got one right now, you are holding on to a piece of history. The values are sure to go up. And if you do not have one, now is your time to jump on these where the values are still fair, and know that you can drive a muscle car for 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 years and likely sell it for the same amount that you paid for it. Who wants to drive a Hellcat for free? I know I sure would. Thanks again.